commonly known as Mend It March. I have some things I need to mend. I've been procrastinating doing this for basically the entire month of March. I don't know who is running a cal or who started the Mend It March thing, or if it's just a general thing. Oh, my voice is quite husky today. Oh, hello. Yeah, I don't know who to give credit to. I will try and do some research and find somebody that I can credit. But traditionally in March we mend our knits or our clothes or things that we own. And I've been procrastinating all month mending some things that I know that I need to mend. It's currently the 27th of March, so I have literally no hope of getting these done before the end of the month. But let's start, and then hopefully you can join me in ameliorate April. Awesome April. Some form of alliteration to do with mending your knits, and hopefully this can serve as some kind of inspiration or motivation to get to the things that you've been meaning to do. Yeah, I'm gonna try over the course of the next week to, I think I have, when's the 1st of April? It's April on Tuesday and it's Thursday today. I'm going to spend the next couple of days, hopefully it won't take me that long. We're going to be into mending May, just redoing some bits on my knits that I've been meaning to get done. I have 5 here. I have a stack of 4 that I want to make changes to. And then I also have a whip that I need to do. I need to finish this whip. I don't even think it's going to take that long. It can be the last thing on the list, but I want to, in the next week, put this back on the needles and finish it because I want to wear it because it's spring-ish, false spring. It's gonna get cold again, but yeah, it's spring and I think it's appropriate for it, and it's just been hanging around too long. So I should tell you what they all are probably. Let's go in order of age. First up, one of the first things that I ever knit, something I made in my first year of knitting. This is the Terrazzo sweater using Silk Garden Sock Solo by Noro in the colour Omitama, everyone knows it, held with a strand of kid silk in the shade light beige, is the drops one. Yeah, this was very viral when I started knitting, and it still is viral, but I feel like the hype, at least for this particular combination, is kind of over. But everyone was knitting this. No regrets, I absolutely love this thing. I really love my choice of mohair. It was so fun to knit. It's probably the funnest thing I've ever knit, just to see all of the colours change. I since have knit with the Noro Madara, but that one wasn't as fun with the colour changing. I think the Silk Garden Sock Solo has lots and lots of different colours in it, and it really does shift as you go along, so it's just so pretty. But it's too short, only slightly. I'll put in some clips of me trying it on, but yeah, only slightly. I think the only thing I need to do with this is just to elongate the rib, so take off my bind off and then just make a much longer rib. And then the other thing I need to do is sort out this neck. I didn't do the long Terrazzo neck from the Terrazzo sweater because I didn't think I'd get use out of like a long neck in this sort of color, and I stand by that choice. I just don't like the way that my collar turned out. It's a bit too wide, it's a bit too floopy, it's not thick enough. And I think I found recently my best collars are ones where I size down on the needle like at least 3 or 4 times. So that's what we're gonna do. I don't anticipate that these things will take a lot of time. I've been meaning to do them for about 2 years. So yeah, it's time. And I have the yarn. If you have seen anyone make the Terrazzo, I think the recommended yardage is usually, or like the recommended amount of the Noro to buy is 4 skeins of, I want to say they're 300 meters. And a lot of people can get away with knitting with just 3, but I bought the 4 because I didn't know, and I did break into some of it. I think I did what a lot of people did at the time, which was cut out some of the colors that I didn't like that were too strong, and then replace them with some new bits from the skein. I'm less fussy about that nowadays. I feel like that's kind of the beauty of the yarn is some of the weird colors that come in. So I'm just going to use it as it comes out. And yeah, I have loads of this. I'll have leftovers. I can use it for other things. Yeah, simple, sorted. That's project number 1. Project number 2 is my sweater number 14 non v-neck in this awesome cobalt blue shade. I wear this a lot actually. It's like it's a really good kind of like slot in to the wardrobe. But the collar has been annoying me for forever. Nothing too wrong with it. I think it's too tight. So when I pull it over my head, it's kind of like hard to get over my head. But then at the same time, it's just too loose here, and I think it needs more. I feel like there's too much fabric, but I also pulled in too tight, if that makes sense. It's also in 2x2 rib, which I don't mind for the rest of the jumper, but I think for the collar I kind of want a 1x1 wib. The difficulty with this one is that I don't know how much yarn I have. I will need to be really careful and unpick it and get as much of it out of it as possible, because I don't think I have the base yarn, much of it left anyway, to sort of play it, you know, mess around with. I can't just cut off this color. I need to conserve some of the yarn. And also I've worn this so much that I think it's like borderline felted. Is that? It's like dirt like embedded in it, and I washed it again because of that, and it's still embedded. Anyway, yeah, I think it's borderline felted. I think it's going to be really hard to frog. So wish me luck. It's also, so it's 1 strand of British wool 4-ply in Corvette blue. 1 strand of Drops Kid Silk in the cobalt color, and then 1 strand of Lang Super Light, which is like an alpaca silk, fluffy alpaca, in the bright blue color. Held together, this was 6mm needles, I want to say, maybe even 7. No, I think it was 6. And who knows what I did with the collar in, but I'll figure that out. My green jumper, which you probably have all seen. I have actually worn it quite a bit since I made that video. I do want to add some elastic to the collar. I do like the way I made the collar, but I do just need a little bit of elastic in here. And as we established in the 2024 video, it's too short and I need to add some length, and I don't have any more yarn, so I need to get creative with how I want to add some length. I was thinking some color blocking. I think maybe I just unpick the bind off, leave the rib that I did, and then do more rib in a contrast color. I don't know what. I'd like to use some stash. I don't know what stash. I don't know. I think I need to do some like Pinterest color block, color combination, you know, searches and see what could go well. I think I initially said light blue would be nice, but I don't know if I have yarns. I don't know. I don't think I have enough light blue anything to sort of match with this. This is 2 strands of woolly knit and a Drops Kid Silk. God, woolly knit really is the theme. So it's a DK and a mohair, which shouldn't be too hard to find in stash. Maybe we go crazy. Maybe we do like a hand-dyed held double, or maybe we use the rest of the Silk Gardens Sock Solo, or maybe, I don't know, yet to be decided. And then the 4th knit, talked about this over multiple videos, that I don't like the way I did the rib. A very, very kind commenter was like, maybe you're being too hard on yourself, and maybe it's actually okay, and he seems quite comfortable in it. But I did ask him why he wasn't wearing it, and he said it's because it's not finished, because you didn't finish the rib. And I was like, okay, I'm going to take that as a sign that I need to finish the rib. Sorry, lovely commenter, you were wrong. It's not right. yes, I'm going to, I never do this, I never cut off things, but I think I'm just going to cut off the rib in this instance because it's drops Lima. I have so much of it that I like don't know what to do with, and just can't be asked unpicking it for this amount of yarn. Unfortunately, it's like the rib along a really long cardigan, and my plan, the issue with this cardigan is that it's not pulled in enough around the neck, like there's just too much space up here. So my plan is to pick up very few stitches along that top bit, size down the needles like as much as I possibly can. Like I'll do it on like a 2.5 if I have to, something like that, and do lots more of it. I think this is like, I don't know, like 4 centimeters. I want to like at least do 6 or 7 or 8, have it be a lot thicker. And then what I did that you can't actually really tell, but I did short rows in the rib at the top so that there was more rib fabric. I would like to do that again, so that it's thicker at the neck than it is at the bottom. And I'm going to try and not do that modified pickup along the fronts because otherwise it'll be too cinched in, but just along the neck. That's the plan. That's the plan for those. Did I say what all the jumpers were? The green one is the sweater number 15. Yeah. Modified to be a bigger gauge. Sweater number 14 was the other one. The other one is a Terrazzo, that's by Petite Knit. And then this is the Korshavn cardigan. And this, not to show you a sleeve, this is my Sanna cardigan, which I started knitting last year. It's a lot of lace, which for some inexplicable reason I did in black mohair. Black mohair, black drops kid silk mohair, and no surprises here, woolly knit British wool 4-ply in black. I have, according to the pattern at least, completed all of the panels. I have a feeling that my sleeve is gonna be, maybe not, don't know. My sleeve might be a bit too short. It still doesn't have ribbing, so I will add that at the end. I think it's a bottom-up cardigan, and I decided to do the ribbing at the end so I could adjust the length, so I'll just pick up on my cast on. I think it's just like a long tail cast on. And yeah, the only thing that I need to do with these is do a 3-needle bind off on the sleeves and the shoulders and everywhere, and then do all of the ribbing. And I want to do, oh my God, I want to do short row scallops in the ribbing, which I haven't figured out how to do. And that's what's kind of been blocking me on this project. I think on the body, I'm like mostly done with the ribbing. I think it'll probably be a lot longer. I have no idea what of this you can see. But yeah, I'm at the point where I should probably start thinking about doing the short rows. So I need to figure out how to do that. And then once it's all done, I'm gonna sew some beads onto it. And then it'll be like Simone Rocha, who is my love, my eternal love. And I've been researching a lot for my wedding dress. But yeah, this was made prior to thinking of that. And I have all of the yarns for all of this. It shouldn't be too hard. It's just I just need to focus on it. These are things that I've been putting off. So that's why I'm gonna make a video to hold myself accountable. It means I'm gonna pause all my other knits for the next week and just try and work on these things, which is annoying because I am working on the sleeve of my Dagmar right now and it's really satisfying, but let's just pause. Focus on these things. Yeah, it's Thursday today. Let's see how far we get this time next week. Also, I know somebody will ask, I'm wearing my Levitate wrap. I knit this with Drops Air and the most annoying linen. I bought this on Etsy and it's like cobweb weight and I held it triple and it's the most, it just everything. I tried to wind it, it got tangled. I tried everything got tangled. It was just horrendous. I have like a knotted ball of it somewhere that I just couldn't, I just couldn't salvage. So I don't recommend that. And I don't think it even really made a difference to the fabric. Probably could have just knit it with the drops air. But you occasionally get this little like hint of the linen coming through. I recently lambasted. I was very critical of this jumper when talking about drops air, but I actually put it on again and I was like, oh no, it's quite nice. The pilling isn't actually too bad and it's not too drapey, and I quite like this jumper, so it's back in rotation. No change. I could probably add some elastic here. Probably add elastic on all of my knits. I'm just rambling now, so I'm going to stop and get to work on all of this fun stuff. Okay, bye. I don't know what it is about unpicking a bind off. I find very therapeutic. I also hate the idea of like wasting this yarn. It's so nice. As annoying as this looks, it kind of reminds me of like the same kind of obsessive feeling that I get when I'm doing like a puzzle. That like it's really frustrating, but it's just this itch that you just have to keep like scratching. I'm probably putting these back on the needle completely backwards, but I will sort that out later. I think all my stitches are facing the right way, which is good news, isn't it?
That being said, does not matter, both are good. Weight forward towards the balls of the feet for 3. For 2, right toes tap, right knee slides down, and we release the back foot. Reach. Take your time to get there, jumps. Myself back out of limiting beliefs. And so I keep myself small. Look at all the things you did do. Space to us right here. We've done the work.
So a quick update on my mending challenge. Don't look at my hair because it's doing something. I washed it and then I slept on it and it whatever. But yes, I am now on day 4, I think, if I filmed my last segment on Thursday. It's Tuesday now, so I'm 4 days in. I'm not very far along. I realised that basically I've just given myself like a ton of 1x1 rib to do. Like literally all of the mending is just doing a ton of 1x1 rib, and that's not enjoyable for anyone. Yeah, it's not the most fun of projects, but it is satisfying. I have now completed my terrazzo for the 2nd time. So we have added a good like 5 to 10 centimeters onto the bottom. I undid the Italian bind off and then knit for ever, it felt like, and then redid the Italian bind off. And it's looking great. I think originally I wasn't planning on blocking anything again, but I think I will need to, because it just looks a bit different. Like, yeah, and it's also like flaring out a bit here. I think it just needs some blocking. Maybe I'll just do like a steam block or like a partial wet block or something. And then I also redid the collar, and this is the biggest change. So I picked up the pattern. Says to pick up 1 in every stitch everywhere, and I think that's because it's a turtleneck, so you need more space at the bottom, because it kind of like lays flatter over your chest. But because I did a double folded round collar, I don't need that many stitches, and generally I would do like 2 out of every 3 stitches for a round collar. I did that so along the sides and along the back, but not along any of the places where it's like a 1-to-1 stitch ratio, so not along the bottom or the saddle part of the saddle shoulder, because I think that generally turns out the neatest. Anyway, I will try it on. When I was done with the collar, I then added elastic. I do think it's maybe a little bit too tight now. I just overcorrected a bit. Let's get my hair out of the way. And it is sitting up like quite high, so I think I might actually end up maybe removing some of the elastic. What the elastic does is that it does pull in the top instead of pulling in the bottom, which I think like stops it from flaring out. But yeah, I think it might bother me being that close to my neck. Yeah, I think it's better. It's not maybe just a bit too tight. And then here we go. This is my new length. I think maybe the problem with this pattern is that it doesn't raise the back neck enough, and that the saddle shoulder doesn't really do that. So I am kind of like I think it's the right length from the bottom here, but I don't know if it's the right length at the back. So yeah, I may revisit this in future, but I think for now I'm just done. I don't want to redo the Italian bind off. Or I thought what I could do also is cut the bind off and add some more stockinette. At least that would be less difficult to do. But I just don't want to mess with it any further. I'm going to see how this one integrates back into my wardrobe and how I feel about wearing it. And then if I feel really strongly about it, then yeah, I will revisit that. The yarn is I said this last time, the yarn is so nice to work with. I immediately want to work with Noro again now, because it's just so pleasing and just like fun. Like you just want to get to the next strip of color or the next thick bit. It just like tickles a part of my brain that I just really love. I do actually have 3 skeins of the Silk Garden Sock Solo in the, I think it's like T82 Akame. Yeah, I have it in that color. Why did I do decreases here? That's so random. Yeah, it's kind of like the Omitama, but slightly more green blue toned. And I bought that in New York when I was there, just because it was really cheap. It was like less than $20 a skein, which I think is pretty reasonable if you only need to buy 3. I did use 3 in quite a bit for this project. Like I have some left, but not that much left now that I've made all the modifications. So I will be cutting it fine. But yeah, I feel like I want to use that sooner rather than later. And then my second update is that I haven't worked on any of the other pieces, but I have worked on my Sanna cardigan. So I've joined it, which is very exciting. I joined the shoulders. If you can't see, it's black. And then I joined the sleeves, and it's like a full cardigan now, which is so surreal because I've had this like off the needles for the longest time. And then I've started working on the sleeve ribbing, and I finally figured out my short row shaping of a scallop. So yeah, I made a short row scallop. I very simply did this by sectioning off 5 stitches with a stitch in between. I tried to make sure that my stitch count was divisible by 6 to do so. And then I went like, I did like, over the 5 stitches I did 1, 2, 3, which is the middle point, and then 4, turned back, went 3 over, turned back. So I just did a circle. You know how short rows work. I just did that and then didn't really work that middle stitch, so it was really far down. I think in retrospect I probably could have done it over 6 stitches with 1 stitch in between, so 7 in total, because then you could go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then go back to 3, and then go 4, 5, and then go back to, you know what I mean? And that would actually sort of like raise it higher in the middle point. I might do that for the bottom, as long as my stitch count is divisible by 7, but I can fudge it with the bottom because there will be a border on each side, or as this isn't the round, so you can't fudge it. But I'll do the exact same. And it wasn't looking that great, but then when I was binding off was that I just like tied that bottom stitch down, like I like pulled it down, and I could probably do it whilst knitting with like doing like a stitch wrapping or like working the stitch below kind of thing, to sort of pull down that middle point. I hope any of this is making sense. I'm not sure that it is, but yeah, I'm really happy that I figured out this whole scallop situation, because I was really worried that it wasn't going to work out and that I was just going to spend loads of time doing it. The only thing is that I think this thing is much too small. Having tried it on now that it's fitting really closely to me, which I don't love. I would call it like a very classic Crazier style pattern, where I think she knits her things very close fitting on the arm and generally uses less positive ease than most sort of Scandi pattern designers. And a lot of people love that. I don't particularly love that. And I did knit the size above for that reason. But my sleeves are still really quite small. I do think though this is lace, so I'm hoping it will actually block out quite a bit. And I think maybe it's just my 3 needle bind off on the underarm situation that's the problem, because that's quite tight. I probably could have gone up a couple of needle sizes or purposely done it looser, and I think that's the thing that's pulling it in the most. And I actually think the fabric, I have a lot more give there. Like if I do that, I have a lot more give. So I think this will definitely be a project that I will pin when blocking, to try and get the most out of the sleeves as possible. But yeah, they did feel quite tight, and overall the thing feels quite tight. I will try it on for you now. So yeah, like wearing it over a white top, you can kind of see the lace quite well. So it definitely fits, like it physically fits on my body. So like we haven't done the button band yet, but it does, like it would close and everything. And then the shaping near the shoulder is actually really nice, especially given that it's like a 3 needle bind off. So usually, you know, you don't get that like nice shoulder shaping there, but that fit here is really, really nice. I want to add quite a bit of length there because it's coming up along the back there. And then I did my sleeve ribbing really quite long. But yeah, it is just fitting quite tight, which is not usually the look that I go for. But yeah, I'm trying not to panic, and I'm trying not to sort of throw the whole thing in the bin just because it's too tight. I think there's definitely, there's definitely some things that I can do with blocking that I think will make it better. And yeah, I think there's just too many unknowns right now to sort of worry about it. Because like if I pull this down, there is still quite a lot of, but yeah, not the best, not the best. It's not filling me full of joy and hope and whatever. Sorry, I've got my needle that's clinking and probably is, oh my god, I've lost so many stitches, oh my god. It's not filling me full of loads of hope, but I think ultimately I'm sure it'll be fine. And the worst comes to worst, I could always detach the sleeves and add some more length whilst also expanding outwards, and that would give me more give along here and sort of bring down the tightness like further down so that it would be more proportionate to like my actual arms. And then they'd be way too long, but maybe I could then cut out some of this lace. There's things I can do to like improve the fit, and I won't have to rework the body or anything, so I think that's definitely fine. I just yeah, it's not ideal, but it is what it is. I'm gonna keep trucking along and then just assess from there. I'm like one day away from my self-imposed deadline, which was tomorrow, and I still have 3 knits that I haven't touched, which yeah, not trucking along, but I'm okay with this video taking longer than it needs to. I'm excited to get these things done. So for my green jumper, I was thinking long and hard about it, and I think I sort of narrowed it down to a couple of different options. I could do a different colour for the bottom rib, which I thought about it, I couldn't really think about any good colours that work. I thought maybe like a burgundy would be like a deep sort of plummy red, would maybe be quite nice against this green, but I think it might just be too jarring, and I think the idea of just having like a line across I think will bother me. And then I did think about maybe doing stripes and bringing in more colours along this bottom ribbing. I've got this like dark green woolly knit that's really beautiful. I have a bunch of different colours. I was thinking of doing like dark green and then light blue and then orange and then maybe light blue again and then the dark green, and like doing stripes like that in rib and having like a big long rib. Again, 1x1 rib. Which I think again is kind of just like blocking it off stripes at the bottom. I thought about doing like a colour work piece along the bottom, so then it starts to like blend the colour in, and then you do the rib in a contrast colour. But again, like this is, I don't have stockinette here, like this is just it's cabling, so I don't know how you do colour work over cabling. And I don't want to have like a weird stockinette portion. So maybe I'd do colour work in the rib. I don't know. I wasn't married to that idea either. I did remember that there's this company, Norwegian company, I think, that do kits for, I think you can either buy the jumpers or buy the kit to make the jumper. And they have this jumper that has this like contrast bottom hem that's all kind of like speckled. And I was thinking about that. I think there's also like a cos knit that does a similar thing. And I think that could be a really good option where, you know, I pull back obviously up to about maybe like the middle of this cable, and then I start interspersing like pretty randomly some of the dark green colour, and then so I do it like as randomly as I can using the 2 different yarns and having it sort of fade up, and then on the top I could add in duplicate stitch of the dark green so that I'm not pulling back too far up, but I still have the feeling that the colours are being like melded together and are being like dripped into it. And then I could also maybe add in a couple of like pops of colour, so like a light blue or an orange or whatever, just in duplicate stitch, just in like little stitches here and there. And I feel like that would be, it'll look intentional and make it a really interesting jumper that will still kind of make it wearable with a bunch of pieces. Yeah, those were my thoughts. I'll let you know how I get on. I don't even want to talk about how long it's been since we last chatted. I've been working on and off on the pieces, but oh my god, they've taken way longer than expected. I think I mentioned, but it's just like all 1 by 1 rib. Like everything I decided to do is just 1 by 1 rib, like over and over and over again. So it's, yeah, just been such a slog to get through. I've been working on my Sanna cardigan, which, yeah, has just been so much 1 by 1 rib. Completed 2 cuffs, which you saw, using my patented short row scallop bind off detail. And I've now completed the bottom rib. I did a really, really long rib because I just wanted all of the length there and I wanted it to be quite cinched. I did the button bands the other night. Finally just completed the collar. I think I was originally planning to do like a fold over collar. And so the sort of like very traditional picot method where you bind off stitches and then, or like you have like little eyelet holes and then once you fold it over it looks like a scallop. I was going to do that at a bigger scale with band off stitches, but then I couldn't figure out how to like keep all of everything on the needle with the holes in between. And I think I decided that maybe a double fold collar would be a bit much on this cardigan, so I just did the same method on the collar that I did everywhere else. And yeah, happy with that. I just tried it on, it looks fine. Last night we started Yellow Jackets, which I've been wanting to watch for a really long time, kind of like Lost but with like / Mean Girls / I don't know, like some kind of like cult horror film, which are all vibes that I love. And during those 4 episodes of Yellow Jackets that we watched, I made 2 very long strips of I-cord out of the same yarn in the black that I've now sewn on to the front of the cardigan so I can tie little bows, kind of like, it's like roughly around here. So she's in for blocking now, which is great. I'm super happy. This project has been hanging over me since I don't know how long, September, October of last year is when I started her, I want to say. And yeah, I'm so ready to be done. I am praying to the Lord of blocking, the blocking Lord, that I can get some more ease into the sleeves, because currently I'm just not happy with the fit. I think around the bust it's perfect. If I have to redo the sleeves, I will make it perfect, because I really want to wear this, because I put so much time into it. I'll just put more, just sunk cost fallacy, just like pour more time into it. But yeah, I so happy to almost be done. In town the other day, I did pick up some more black beads, but past me is a effing legend, and I have this little bead collection here of loads of little crystal beads that I bought when I was going through my initial Simone Rocha obsession, and I have lots of these black crystal beads, which are like pure Simone Rocha, that I think I got off this like Irish bead website. As you can see, this was my previous attempt at making a Simone Rocha earring, which didn't really go as planned, and I will probably revisit this at some point, but yeah, these are perfect. And then whilst I was in town, I did stop off in Yellow Brick Road, which is like a little bead emporium. It's adorable, and I got these, which are slightly chunkier, I think, than any of the ones that I currently have. So this is quite expensive. It's like €6 for the string, but I just wanted to make sure I had enough. My plan is to do like a little around the collar, just like a little cluster of beads, kind of in almost like a croissant shape. So like it starts off small, gets up bigger, and yeah, like a croissant. Why doesn't it fit? This was my rough plan that I was sketching out. So I had those 2 I-cord bows at the center, and then I was thinking of adding, yeah, the beads at the shoulders, but then also, so I'd originally said like velvet ribbon, but I think velvet ribbon will just get really annoying in that like velvet like collects dust and hair, and I have 2 white dogs, and like already the black mohair is like difficult to keep black. So I think I might skip the velvet ribbon because I just think it will add to that kind of like grimy look. And I do have a different type of ribbon, okay, which of course I can't find right now because whatever, but if you know anything about me, you know that I'm always drowning in ribbon. And I bought, I think, like a big long roll of this like black satin. It's kind of like, so it's kind of like this, just very thin, but in black. And I bought some of that to add. I think it's actually it's like a really miniature grosgrain ribbon, and I bought some of that to add to a lamp that I was DIYing, and I have loads of it, and it's black. So I'm gonna use that for that. And then I don't know about buttons. I don't think I have good like Simone Rocha plastic buttons. This is also where I keep some of my buttons, not all of them. As a sewist and a knitter, you end up with a lot of buttons. I also hoard anything that I get. Let's see. Have a look at my button stash. This is my button stash. And then this is everything I have here, but I don't have any, like, this is literally a Simone Rocha button in that, like, it says, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, it says Simone Rocha on it. And that's the kind of, like, very simple plastic button that I'll be looking for, but I don't have any of those in stash. So that's annoying because I'm not planning. Ew, why is this like covered in like food? I'm not planning. Oh no, I'm going into town on Wednesday, so I can get some buttons then. Yeah, I'll need the Simone Rocha type button. So I'll go into the haberdashery and find some. Yeah, I just think it needs to be like this. This is another Simone Rocha button, like literally from a Simone Rocha piece. So it needs to be this style is what I'm looking for. And I don't have any on hand. So that is Simone Rocha almost being done with this project. I'm so, like, it's like going to be the biggest achievement of this video if I get it done. The other projects, still have quite a stack of projects to get through. This guy, I'm going to do this evening. I don't think it's going to be that hard. We're just redoing the collar, but I did look through my stash and I did find all 3 original bits of yarn, and I don't have much of any of them. I have more of this, so that's fine. So the Drops Kid Silk, but this is the last bit of woolly knit that I have. This is the last bit of the Lang Clouds, so wish me luck. But that's one collar. I should be able to complete that in an evening. This one, I think for this video, I'm gonna park. So I had 2 thoughts. I could do it on the bottom of the jumper, or I've been really enjoying wearing my black jumper with the one sleeve that's like kind of a different color at the end. So I thought of doing that the same in that sort of like half. But I'm not convinced I will actually like that. And then I also thought of just doing just a contrast cuff. So like pulling back some of the yarn from here and doing a contrast cuff like my other one, and just doing a completely different color, maybe with a few stripes through it. I think that would be quite cool. Start like a trend in my wardrobe of just having a different colored cuff for some reason. But I'm not decided. And again, the thought of ripping back all of this work is not filling me full of joy right now. So I think I'm just going to sit on it for a while longer. And yeah, she's still functional, and to be honest, we're going into summer, so I'm not going to be wearing her that much. So and then finally I just need to buckle up and do this one. That's the only, I need to find the rest of this yarn, the Drops Lima. I'm using it for another project at the moment that I need it for. So it's Monday, bank holiday Monday today. I have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to complete the 3 things that I was talking about. And then I'm off to the States on Friday. And I'll be gone for a week in a bit. And I just want to be done with all of this mending stuff. Also, I need to post a video. I need to post this video. So I want to be editing the footage on the plane. So yeah, that's my deadline. I think I was saying like we're past mending March. It's now ameliorate April. We're gonna be into mending May again. So if you enjoyed this and want to mend some things yourself, it's mending May probably by the time that I post this video. So yeah, that is my deadline. Hey, wish me luck. I'm excited about putting the ribbons and the sequins on my jumper. Okay, so when I press record, I didn't press record. This never happens to me. Okay, to recap, to rehash whatever I just said, I'm wearing my new, what is it called? Sweater number 14? Did we ask you? No, we didn't. No, we didn't. Okay, to appease the beast, we will have to do that. Yeah, so I redid the collar. It took about 2 evenings. It didn't take very long each time, like each side of the evening. And yeah, I just unpicked it, frogged it. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too felted. It was a lot better than I was expecting. Did I get the spot? Yeah, I got the spot. Okay. So I did one stitch in every stitch around the collar, which I think is usually too much for like most sweater patterns. They usually do at least like a 2 and 3 along like the side bits. But yeah, I knew I wanted more space, and yeah, I knit for way longer than I previously did. And then I joined the new yarn that I had. Before I did that though, I did go back and I did some things on the shoulder. Yeah, there's this like 3D line of crochet chain that I did. Because this is one of the jumpers that I knit in like my first year of knitting. It has a couple of things that like, it's like really well executed, but it has a couple of things that I probably wouldn't do today. So like all of the bind offs are just bound off in pattern. And I probably would have rearranged the stitches and done a sewn bind off. Oh yeah, and then the shoulder pickup was just, like I think I'd done it way too close to the top, to the seam, like to the selvage, and my cast on, what's it called, long tail cast on, like the little knots at the end were just like peeking through, and whatever I did, it just looked so ugly and not seamless at all. And like the reality is that this yarn combination now is like really matte, kind of almost felted, and you can't really see any stitch definition, and you could barely see it on the shoulder. Like it was really only just bothering me. But because I had the yarn and I was there, I just went in with a crochet hook and just did a chain. And the way you do it to get a chain that doesn't have that like visible line of stitching is that you have to, it's kind of annoying because the yarn's underneath and you have to go through and pick it up, and so it feels like it's juggling way too many. Boop. It feels like you're juggling way too many things. But yeah, I just did this crochet chain. I haven't actually woven in the ends yet, but I actually kind of like this weird little tail that's happening. You know that like Taylor Swift song that's like, you need to calm down? That's like just what I think about Cami like all the time. So I'm very happy about the outcome. The main thing that's changed is that there's a lot of stretch here at the seam, but I made sure to do it really loosely when I was binding off, and I think this jumper is knit in a 6mm needle for the main thing, and I used a 3.75 for the collar, so I went down quite a few. Where did you get that ball? Quite a few needle sizes. And then the other thing that I'm really happy about is my sanna. I blocked my sanna, which I think you can tell because the stitch definition is like crazy. This is what they say about lace, right? Is that it just only looks awesome when you block it. And yeah, it worked. It's awesome. The fit is great. And I got the sort of ease out of it that I needed. Like, I think if, you know, I would probably prefer this amount of space always in a sleeve. Sorry for the chaos. This is the vlog format, right? Like, it's supposed to be less manicured. I cast this on in so long ago, and I'm just so psyched for it to be done. Today I'm going to be doing the beading that I needed to do, and then adding the sort of ribbons and finishing touches. Also my little bows, what my partner affectionately referred to as a tit tassel, and he's not wrong. Hi, you can't eat buttons. You need to calm down. You're being too loud. Yeah, and it's nice to just have wins, things to be positive about. I find that, like, you know, you have those people in your life that are just like beacons of positivity and are just, you know, like they like actively like cheer people up and are really positive about things. I'm not that friend. I'm the one that's a bit glass half empty, kind of just a bit negative. And I, you know, like I hear myself say it, like I'll talk about something positive and then I'll almost always follow it up with something like, oh, but wouldn't it have been great if this, or oh, but isn't it such a shame that. And yeah, it's a habit that I don't like, and I notice it in myself, and I do want to change it. So yeah, it's nice to just be positive about something. She just flipped up the bowl and then pounced at it like a fox. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna go do my stitching now, and then I will catch you later. So what I'm doing, if you couldn't tell, is that I'm just stringing along the beads on the string and then sort of securing them down, like you usually would with beading. But I am adding like a locking stitch in between each bead, because I feel like otherwise it's just not secure enough. So I'm like basically couching each bead so that it don't wobble. And I'm definitely not following a pattern, I'm just doing whatever floats my boat. My name's Jason Isaacs. You know, I'm scared of a tsunami. I don't want to put too many beads up here because it's quite a light cardigan. So I feel like it'll weigh it down too much if it's too heavy. Piper, no. Tsunami. But you're not a Buddhist.
this weekend. Take away the lens, maybe then I can feel again. I've heard it's all about distracting the mind, so I'm watching movies well into the night. It's morning already, I didn't notice. Drive myself to sleep, make a promise that's broken before I leave my house. Already bummed out the day, hard to keep my eyes on the road anyway. When it's coursing my own sandpaper, I don't wanna lose anything yet. I'm wavering, can't you see the parts of me I'm leaving behind, just to fit a mold that I know isn't mine. And I don't wanna be on my deathbed crying out, come back, I need you. I think I have died, I think I have died. And I wouldn't be asking if I didn't see it. Sirius XM radio playing the songs that we curated all our lives. I won't force you into something you hate, but once we were good, and I swear we'll be great, I'll do better, I promise. Listen please, I'm folded at the hands, bending at the knees. Please baby, buzz through my mind, pull the carpet out from under me, and I will fall for you. Don't leave me in the dust. I know I can be better than I was. I can be better than I was for you. Don't leave me in the dust. I know I can be better than I was. I can be better.
That's hilarious. You're like balanced on my water bottle for a lack of good filming spaces. Hello, I am in Denver. It's the end of the challenge because I didn't bring any of the projects with me, obviously. And yeah, I think it went good. Out of 5 pieces that I wanted to work on, I only managed to finish 3, which is not great stats, but I think that I'm so happy that my Sanna cardigan is done. I love it so much. It's like, it's one of the best things I've ever made, and I'm so proud that I like powered through and got to the end of it, and it just really legitimately feels like a high fashion piece, and I love it. I actually wish it was not as warm, and I brought it with me. I wish it was not as warm in Denver so that I could wear it. But yeah, I'm enjoying the sun here, and yeah, the other pieces, I think if you're gonna do something like this, maybe don't set yourself an unreasonable expectation as I did, to sort of, you know, do a lot of work, a lot of not very rewarding work on a lot of pieces. And also I rushed it at the end, you can tell, with the ribbing for my partner's Korshavn cardigan. I messed that up. I even said in the video that I wasn't going to do a pickup rate that was so extreme for the front, otherwise it would scrunch too much, and then I forgot about that, and my pickup rate was too small. I had too many stitches, and it's really scrunched up on the front, which is a shame, because I think I'm gonna have to redo it again, but it went by pretty quickly, and it was a pretty easy fix, so I will do that soon when I get home. I also need to shorten the sleeves, but that's a whole other issue. But yeah, I'm pleased I took you along with me. I hope you enjoyed a little chill peek into my life, or just the knitting part of my life, and yeah, I hope to see you again soon. Thank you so much for watching.